everyone, and welcome to my January updates video. Quite a big amount of stuff today just because Christmas and also birthday, not my birthday but my sister's birthday, so we have a couple things from that, as well as like December sale stuff still coming in. Hopefully I can get through all of it in like a decent amount of time. And also, sorry if I'm a little snuffly, I don't quite know what's wrong with me, but I got a bit of a sniffle, so apologies ahead of time for that. I'm just going to go figures first, a quick overview, not like one by one like I generally do, then anime, and then manga, because manga is the largest amount of things that I got, so as usual. So yeah, hope you enjoy. So as you can see, a couple little things and one scale figure this month. In the back are the free youth trading figure things that came in a box of 8. There was an alternate Rin without a popsicle. He had a different, like, both hands on his hips, and a duplicate. My duplicate was Makoto. I gave my extra Rin and Makoto to my sister, and these are all the other boys. Together they're very cute. I think they're quite well done for the size and kind of price they were. Yeah, very cute little just extra things. I also have the two Kominato brothers, Ryuichi and Haruichi. I think it's Ryuta and Haruichi. From Ace of Diamonds. Better quality, I think, overall than Miyuki and Sawamura. So I was glad about that, because those two, well, Sawamura wasn't too bad, and my Miyuki wasn't too bad, but a lot of people had complaints about Miyuki especially. And finally, my little scale of Alvis from Last Exile. This is an older scale. I found her used on the AmiAmi site and decided to pick her up because I love Last Exile and I don't really have anything for it aside from the actual show. I wasn't a big fan of Fam, so I don't have that, the second season, but the original is just a great series, and she's really adorable. Her little pedestal makes her a lot taller than she is, and she's absolutely, she's 1/8 scale, but she's quite small because she is a child character, but she's really teeny tiny and adorable. And yeah, so that's all the figures I got for this month. So yeah, not too much. Next, I'm just going to mention I got 2 art books, neither the which I'm going to go into in great detail with, but I got the knock the camera, why don't I? I got Bungaku Shoujo Fantasy Art Book, which has stuff from the light novels as well as a bunch of guest artwork, yeah, character art, stuff like that. Yeah, it was cheap and I found it online for a good price, so I was happy to just grab it. I love Bungaku Shoujo, or Book Girl, whatever you want to call the series. And it's like a nice little addition for what it is, and as I said, not too expensive, so I'm happy I got it. And the other art book is Rihito Takarai's Mirror, which she's a BL art, well, she's a female artist, she mostly does BL stuff. She's most notable for her work, she illustrated the series 7 Days. She also writes and illustrates the series 10 Count. This mostly has 10 Count and a lot of her other stuff in there. She's a great artist, but obviously don't really pick this up unless you're a fan of her work or know what to expect when you get it. But beautiful art book, and it only came out a couple weeks ago, so you can pick it up on Amazon Japan and all those other CD Tran, all those other websites. Now I'm going to do anime because I have a bit of that, and seems like a good thing to segue to. First off, I have Jinro. Blu-ray release by Discotheque. Good film. I hadn't seen it before. Yeah, it's not necessarily the happiest film, but it looks great. It's got engaging storyline if you're into sort of the not quite dystopic future / past, but totalitarian sort of feeling of society. I don't know quite how to explain it, but it is a good movie. I think it's a classic. Everyone should watch it at least once. And also from Discotheque, I got The Night on the Galactic Railroad, which is a gorgeous film, just by the way. Classic. Everyone, I think, again, should watch this. It's very much a thinking movie, based off of the short story of the same name, which, again, is a classic amongst Japanese literature. A lot of references to this story in a lot of other Japanese media, so I do think it is kind of necessary watching if you're a fan of anime and manga, because a lot of stuff references this. And it's a film you can watch over and over again and pick up things that you didn't realize before. Ooh. Next is Sentai stuff, Part 4 and Part 5 of Space Brothers. Fantastic series. Only a few parts now left for me to collect. It's over halfway through. Yeah, just a fantastic series. Definitely recommend it to anyone and everyone. Seinen, realistic, future, space travel sort of series. If you're a fan of stuff like Planetes, or even like robotics notes, in so far as like a near future that's realistic, then you'll probably enjoy this. More so Planetes than Robotics Notes, but it is a good series. It is on Crunchyroll. I think the manga is also on Crunchyroll. Yeah, so definitely check it out if that sounds like something you'd be interested in. Next is a Funimation older release. I just spent a long time picking these up, and it's Season 1 of Yu Yu Hakusho. I got Season 3 and 4 in last month's update, and I'll probably have Season 2 by next month's update. I love Yu Yu Hakusho. I'm a big fan of Togashi's work. I'm sure most people know that if you've watched my videos. I did have the DVD sets of these for a long time. Well, technically I still do, but I've been replacing these with the Blu-rays just because overall the sound, the color, the actual film transfer itself is fantastic, and I mean there's no reason to not have it on Blu-ray. It's always, to me, I feel like Blu-ray just overall lasts a lot longer than DVD sometimes. So yes, just happy to own this, and it looks so good. I just watched some episodes last night. Oh, the Blu-rays look wonderful. Hitting things today, oh my gosh. And finally, finally with Blu-rays is Terror and Resonance, the new Funimation release. I honestly forgot I had ordered this until Amazon Canada took the money out of my account and was like, oh, what's this? And then I checked and I was like, oh, alright. Haven't seen this series, which is quite unusual for me to buy something without having seen it first. But it is a Watanabe series, so I have good faith that I'll at least like enjoy it, at most really love it. I've heard very good things about it, especially at the beginning and the ending. I know it gets slow in the middle, or I've heard it gets slow in the middle, but I'm interested to watch it all the same, and it's a Notamine show. I tend to like those series overall. Another Notamine show, actually, following up on that, is Library War. This was released by Discotheque. It's DVD only, subtitle only. I have the film as well, the Japanese Blu-ray of the film, which does have English subtitles. I really liked this series. I think it's cute for what it is. The manga is different from, it's a bit more romantic, comedy, focused on the romance part. But this one, great characters, I think. It's not like the most fantastic series out there, but you will probably enjoy it if you give it a try. And another Notone show, actually, I think, following up on that, is seasons 1 and 2 of Silver Spoon. These were in the Right Stuff Christmas sale special thing. I love Silver Spoon. I love it. It's one of my favorite series of the seasons that it came out of. Arakawa is just fantastic at writing stories, characters, everything. And I think they just did a great release overall. It was animated well, the music was fantastic, and the parts of the stories that they adapted was great. I'm sad that, of course, it's Aniplex, so overall it was more expensive than stuff, although I did get it like half price. But it doesn't have a dub, it's DVD only, and it's not ever likely to get a Blu-ray release or anything like that. But I can't complain too much. I mean, you can complain like, oh, why don't we have Blu-ray release? But, I mean, you should be happy that you get things at all. Especially when it comes to Aniplex. And so, yes, I'm not going to complain too much. I'm still waiting for Mushishi Season 2 from them, though. When that gets solicited, if it ever does, I mean, who knows, I am pre-ordering that instantly. That is my instant pre-order. But Silver Spoon, I waited a little while to get because I wanted to see if the local release of it would be getting the second season. There hasn't been signs of it or at all, so I decided to just buy the 2 seasons when I saw them in the sale from the US. So now I have both and I don't have to worry about just having like half of a show. And finally, I think it's kind of a good segue into the manga, is the special edition volume 17 release of Attack on Titan. Came with Ilse's Notebook, which is an OVA. It's subtitle only, DVD only, but I don't really mind because it was DVD only in Japan. It came with the manga, so I mean it comes with the manga in the US or Western speaking world as well. I thought this was a good OVA. I can't really remember the other ones. I have seen them, but I'm happy to own them. I didn't know whether or not Funimation would actually license something that was technically only released with the manga, because that's not generally something that they do. Hopefully, also, I hope, because of its popularity, we might get a similar thing done with Noragami. Oh, I'd be all over that if they released the Noragami OVAs with the manga, because I love that show. I love it, and I love the series. So anyway, yes, I bought this. I was gonna get the 17th volume anyway, so might as well get it with the thing that I also like to get, which is the anime and the OVAs and that sort of thing. Yeah, so looking forward to the next one, which is part 1 of No Regrets. I think there's 4 or 5 OVAs altogether, so we'll probably see a lot of these kind of special editions in the future. And now I'm just going to do manga because there's a lot of it, and I just guess I'll get started. Actually, I'll just move this out of the way. Ugh. So first off, I actually got this just today. It's Orange Omnibus 1 by Ichigo Takano. This is a 7 Seas release, very different from what they usually release, which is generally just monster girls. But I did read this on the Crunchyroll manga app. There's going to be 2 omnibuses I'm going to buy, collecting the 5 volumes. Yeah. I really liked the series. I hadn't really read any of Takano's other work, although I've heard very good things about it. Yeah, Orange is an interesting little one. I think it's certainly something you should try. It's quite different from your typical shoujo. It's got kind of time travel and that sort of thing, alternate timeline stuff going on. So yeah, it's interesting. It's very much a what if situation. Like, if you had made one decision differently in your past, how would it have changed your future? And would you be happier, or are you happy now with what you've done? It's good. I think you should try it. And I'm glad that Seven Seas has kind of branched out into stuff other than just monster girls, and on occasion, monster boys. Not that there's anything wrong with any of that. But I think they saw with the Ancient Magus' Bride that there is kind of audience for good shoujo, or, not necessarily the flowers and bubbles types of shoujo. So hopefully we'll see some more variety from them. But anyway, next, as I mentioned earlier, I do have Volume 17 of Attack on Titan. This, of course, came with the OVA DVD you saw before. Yep, I have read the chapters in this. I didn't reread this one, or I don't think I reread this when I got it. Yep, Attack on Titan. I don't think I need to say anything about it because everyone is reading it, everyone knows the story, and everyone's really kind of on top of it, waiting for the new season and all those sorts of things. Super mega hit, obviously. But yeah, I don't know when it's going to end, but I feel like it is soonish. I feel like it's going to get to like volume 23 or 25 and then end. So we're on the home stretch. We're almost there, people. We're almost there. Next is volume 10 of Noragami, whose second season just finished a couple weeks ago. Phenomenally, I may add, and it adapted up until the end of this volume. I really love Noragami. I think I say that every time I get a volume, which is literally every month, so I won't harp on it too much, but if you're not reading it, you should be, because there's a reason this is on like the bestseller list pretty much every week. It's fantastic. I'm so glad it's doing so well for Kodansha, and these books are so matte and so lovely. Next is volume 2 of Horomia by Empress. Just reread this yesterday, and it's so cute. I love this manga so much. It makes me laugh like so much. I love the expressions. It's just a great story, and the romance is like not painful at all. You don't hate any of the characters. It's not one of those things where like, well, they're only getting together because it's like they're the main characters, they have to get together. You actually feel like they're friends and they have stuff in common, and there's like things like it seems like an actual human relationship, which is great, even though technically they're not together yet. But yeah, it'll happen. Don't worry, it'll happen. Horomia, fantastic series. I definitely recommend it, especially if you're looking for kind of a more down-to-earth, funny, shoujo-esque sort of series. It's not really shoujo. I wouldn't call it shoujo. It's just romance. Romantic comedy. It's a good one of those. A very good one of those. Next is the most recent volume, or so volume 14, of Blue Exorcist. Great. I loved this. I really enjoy Blue Exorcist. I think the story goes in a bunch of different directions. That's the one. That's the word I was thinking of. Than you would expect, and I'm just excited for what's going on and what's going to happen and how things are going to unravel. It really leaves you at the edge of your seat every volume, and I think it really builds up the tension and the atmosphere and everything else really well. Plus, it's got like a likable group of teens in it, and you learn these last couple of volumes have learned a lot of backstory and stuff. So I'm very excited to read more whenever the case may be that volume 15 decides to come out. Next is volume 19 of Natsume's Book of Friends. One of my favorite manga of all time. This volume was actually really great. It was the first one for the first, like, well, it was the first one in a while that really made me feel like I was about to cry for some of the stories. It is an episodic series, so technically you could just pick up any volumes and be okay, but I think you do yourself a big disservice if you read it out of order or skip stuff, because you really see the growth of Natsume over the series. And yeah, there was a bunch of different tones to the stories in this one, but kind of overall it was like connecting with old and new friends, like, just as a general theme. I mean, that's a general theme of the series anyway, but okay, not even gonna lie, the rock washer chapter in this volume was so good. It was so good. I like sniffled and like cried a little bit, and just my heart broke, and then was mended by the wonderful work of Yuki Midorikawa. So yes, if you're a fan of stuff like Mushishi or I don't know, Mushishi's kind of the closest thing. It's got that same kind of soft, subtle, spiritual or ness to it. Yeah. I was so happy that I pre-ordered it, because this series and like a couple other series I pre-order like months and months and months in advance. So when I get it in the mail, it's like a huge surprise. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's come! I finally have received the newest volume. But I also do that so I don't fall behind, because I do fall behind on a lot of series a lot of the time. So yes, if it's a series that I've pre-ordered ahead of time, for like the next 3 or 4 volumes, you know that it's one of my favorites, because I don't want to miss out. I want to get that like as soon as it's come out. Next is volume 22 and 23 of Kimi ni Toroke. Yes, I was very happy about the kind of resolution of stuff going on in these volumes. You can feel like it's getting towards the end, and it's not like a typical, or it hasn't really kind of just paired the spares insofar as like, oh well, now that the main couple's gotten together. That's not a spoiler, that happened like 13 volumes ago. If you're like, don't complain, it's been a while. And though like there's other people going around and dating and stuff, you don't necessarily have to be in a relationship to be happy, or even if you are in a relationship, it doesn't necessarily mean you are happy. Or, I mean, it's not a typical shoujo. It's like, oh, and the best friends get together, and the rival gets together with this person, and everyone's happy, and, you know, you gets married and all that. So, yes, I'm glad that Kimi ni Toroke kind of handled the stress and kind of all the junk that's going on in high school and relationships and teenagerisms in a really good way, and I'm looking forward to the next volume, whenever that may be. The next 3 are all BL. I'm gonna do them quickly, so don't worry. First off is World's Greatest First Love, Volume 3. This actually has my favorite couple in it, which is these two. Yeah, not a huge fan of Nakamura's work overall, but I think I've mentioned in other videos, Sekaiichi, or World's Greatest First Love, is probably my favorite of hers. I don't hate everyone in the series, which is always a good thing. And I actually really do like these two on the back. So, yes, Volume 3, it's more of the same, but what you would expect from the World's Greatest First Love. But yeah, anyway. Now, next is Volume 7 of his favorite. I only have one volume of this, which is Volume 1. And the reason I have Volume 7 now is because I had a coupon, and this one was the cheapest one, and I didn't want to, like, the coupon to expire, so I just, like, bought the cheapest thing that I could get, because I didn't have that much money in my account at the time. I didn't want to, you know, overdraw or anything. Not that I would have, but I had other bills and stuff I had to pay. So I just got this, and now I have some gaps to fill. I remember the first volume of this was pretty funny. Like, it's quite a funny dichotomy between, like, the typical hot guy, bishy main character of BL, and then, like, this weird cartoony looking, like, small, angry Pomeranian of a person. Yes, so I do actually want to read more of this, and now I have an incentive to get other volumes and hopefully catch up. And finally is for this stack, there's another stack, so it's not, I'm not finished yet, believe me, is Fumi Yoshinaga's Lovers in the Night. This is her the last one of her, well, no, actually. It's from Blue Manga, out of print, obviously, now. But, yeah, as I mentioned before, I'm trying to get all of Yoshinaga's work, including all her BL stuff and everything else. So, yeah, I'm not necessarily a fan of her BL stuff, or I am really a fan of some of her BL stuff. I like how she sets, or, like, how she composes her panels and stuff. I don't necessarily like it for the story or the romance. I don't necessarily like it for the romance, but I like the the setting and the background stuff going on, and the story is overall, like, interesting, and her artwork has a very good sense of space, if that makes sense. But yeah, so Lovers in the Night, which is like a follow-up to Truly Kindly, kind of. Like, Truly Kindly has like a one-shot in there that then leads to Lovers in the Night. It's kind of complicated, but yes, anyway. Next, there's another stack here, so apologies, is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 2, Volume 1, Battle Tendency. So, beginning of Joseph Joestar. Yeah, super, this was actually, my sister's birthday present. It was her birthday yesterday, so she got this from her best friend. Yeah, they love JoJo, and they're actually going to cosplay as Joseph and Caesar together. My sister's going as Joseph, because she loves him. But yeah, so now we're not quite up to date. I'm pretty sure the second one's already come out, but, yeah, we're into part 2 of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and it certainly gets bizarre here on out. Next is a huge volume, and it's Tekken King Creep Black and White all in one. Interestingly, this opens, you know, opposite to a typical manga. It's read the opposite way, left to right rather than right to left. Then your normal manga. It's also huge, just by the way. Let's see. This is a standard thing. Look at that. Look at that. It's massive. But yeah. I haven't read it yet, but I'm a fan of the film. It's honestly like my sister's favorite film. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing or reading the story that started it all. Huh. I haven't looked inside here really very well because my sister keeps it in her room because she wants to read it. Obviously. And then next is volumes 5, 6, and 7 of Monster. So you can kind of see with this one, 5 and 6 match up, and then actually 7 doesn't because you start a new row with that one, but here's the cover to volume 7. Yep, 2 more volumes to go until the end. I'm excited because obviously Urasawa's work is fantastic and Monster is a great series, and even though I've seen it all and I've read, or like, well, the show is kind of the closest adaptation you can get to a manga, I really love reading Urasawa's work because there's a real sense of emotion to his series. Okay. Next, apologies because this is going to be a little bit difficult to do, but I have 5 volumes here of one series, but they're very big omnibuses, so I'm just going to do it one at a time. And it's Umineko When They Cry. This is actually the second half, or volume 2. Technically volume 6 overall, but volume 2 of Banquet of the Golden Witch. It's the second half of Banquet of the Golden Witch. And then we have volume 1, volume 2, and volume 3 of Alliance of the Golden Witch, which is the 4th story arc, and it's the last question arc. If you know Higurashi When They Cry, this is kind of like a sister series, but Higurashi has 4 question arcs and then 4 answer arcs, roughly. And then Umineko has the same. It has 4 question arcs and then 4 answer arcs. So, we have all of the answer, or question arcs now, not the answer arcs, that would be weird. And then, volume 1 of 3, so volume 10 of Umineko End of the Golden Witch, which is the first part of the answer arcs. So there's 2 more volumes for this one. The 3rd one actually just came out recently, but we were quite far behind on this series, so we didn't want to get all of it right away, because these volumes are quite pricey as well, especially with the bad exchange rate at the moment. So anyway, but yeah, so yeah, happy to finally read this series and get some answers, because I've seen the show, and of course it never had a second season, unlike Higurashi, so we don't really see what happens next. Next, penultimately, second last thing, there's not too much more. Sorry for this video running extra long. Well, not extra long, but quite long for what it is. Volume 4 of Tokyo Ghoul. Yep, I read it. It was great. I liked it a lot. Tokyo Ghoul is a good series. I look forward to Volume 5. I'm pretty sure it's out, but I have not bought it yet or gotten it. I don't know if it's out yet, but it's coming out soon. If it's not out already, it's coming out soon. And this is a good volume. I always liked this character, even though he's kind of weird and crazy and stuff. In the show, I haven't read the manga aside from, these 4 volumes, but he is very interesting, and I look forward to where the story goes from here. I know that it stays the same for another couple volumes, but even so, I want to kind of re-experience the story properly. And finally, the most recent volume of Vinland Saga, so volume 7, or book 7. Haven't read it because I have only got 1, 2, 3, 6, and 7, so I still need to get 4 and 5. I've read the first 3. It's a good series. Looking forward to getting the next couple so I can read it and actually continue with the story. Obviously, a lot of people are kind of worried that Kodansha won't continue printing this, and the series itself comes out very slowly in Japan, like 1 volume every 2 years, so I can kind of see people's concerns. But in saying that, Kodansha have said on Tumblr and Twitter and stuff that they just need to show good sales for this volume to kind of prove to Kodansha Japan that this title does sell. And for all intents and purposes, this volume has sold just as well as the previous ones, which is good. So they don't need like a huge amount of extra sales or anything to continue publishing, but hopefully the fans will kind of rally and get people to buy it and stuff, and we will get a continuation of the story because it definitely deserves it. It's certainly a great series, and I would be very sad if it kind of ended, you know, too soon. But apparently, because I haven't really read this volume yet, this volume ends on like a good spot, so even if it does kind of not finish or it doesn't finish in the States, we won't be left with like a huge cliffhanger. But of course, I mean, nobody wants to for a great series like this to kind of stop because of poor sales. That's always the worst. But yeah, sorry for such a long video and for my sniffling and just overall knocking the camera and everything else. This month's pretty much over. We don't have mail on Saturdays or Sundays, so yeah, I'm probably not going to get anything else for this month. Well, I know I'm not going to get anything else for this month because things aren't delivered. So, yes, Monday starts a new month, February, and yeah, all this will start again. I have to start another list of things to remember to show on camera for all you guys. But thank you so much for watching. I know these get very long, and I'm probably not the most interesting person to listen to all the time. But I hope you enjoy this kind of long me showing off a huge amount of stuff, because I mean, why else would I get I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. I'd buy this stuff because I want this stuff. You have nothing to do with it. But there's a lot here. This isn't even... Don't slip around. I'm just going to put the manga here so you can see kind of... There's 3 stacks here. And, well, 2.5 stacks. Look at all that manga. That is a lot of manga. But like I said, it was stuff from December sales coming in, and my sister's birthday, and Christmas, and a whole bunch of stuff. So, yeah, I don't want to give excuses, and I don't know, like, how much I'll be getting next month or anything like that. But hopefully I will have more than 0 things to show you next month. I definitely will, I'm almost certain. But thank you for watching. It's almost been 40 minutes. I won't keep you too much longer. If you enjoyed the videos, I'd appreciate a thumbs up or is that a like, subscribe, whatever else. Also, I love all your comments. I read all of them, and I really appreciate it. And I'll see you in the next month, guys. Thanks. Bye.